Hello everyone, my name is Honey Lou and I'm going to show you guys my go-to decks. These are like my basket of goodies that I use all the time. They are my go-to decks. I guess I'm just going to call it my go-to decks, my top 10 decks, my village. These are like the basics that I usually use, and so I'm just going to share you what are my favorites. I do have like a secondary favorite, so like the Ritual Tarot, like Jumbo Dance. I have like my colorful decks like Playful Heart Tarot. Like those are all like my secondary decks that are like my faves, but like they're not like my basic go-to decks. So I'm gonna do another video with that, and I'm just gonna show you these bad boys right now. So let's just get started. So oracles, I have it in here. It's called the Rose Alchemy Tarot, and then I have True Paths of Angels. But I'll show you the Rose Alchemy Tarot. This is so good. Let me just go like that real quick. This is beautiful. I've been really enjoying the messages. It's a lot of healing. I've been just doing like a daily card, but this has became a favorite. It's very beautifully illustrated and written. It's always like on point of what I need to know today, and like if I'm not feeling good, like lately with the Mercury retrograde and the eclipse, like it's just, these been helping me out quite a bit, and I've been using them alone for now, but they are really nice. I love like the size and the coloring and the photos, but it's so good. I don't know what else to say. It's like about alchemy and forming stuff, and just, it's a really beautiful deck. I wish I had the guidebook with me right now, because I would show you a little bit about it. But yes, would never, this is definitely a deck that I've been picking up a lot lately. And then another favorite oracle is True Paths of Angels. I just keep them together because I use them all the time. Here are the backs. This is like a 33 card deck. I don't know how to describe the card stock, but it feels cool. It has to do with the Kabbalah and the Tree of Life, so it's like, it's really nice. So it's just like another perspective and like a healing message for, tarot associations, and yeah, I really enjoy this deck. And I love the little angels and the cheesiness of it. I love the purple borders, and it just, switches my perspective on some of the cards. Another deck that I've been using a lot, and this is a go-to deck for sure, is the Dream Dusk Shamanic Tarot by Bellamy. This is like usually one of my favorite decks to like tell me the truth, and but tell me softly. It's just a gentle, truthful deck. I really love the colors, and it's just very interesting, and it pairs really well with a lot of decks. But yeah, I've been using this deck quite a bit, and I usually have it by my side just because it's beautiful. I really love the card stock too. It's like a glossy, and then the gilding, mine's getting a little bit nicked, but it's like a really nice gilding where it stays nice for a long time. It's kind of like scratch resistant, I would say. Yeah, it's a very beautiful deck. I really love everything about it. Definitely get a lot of clear messages in this deck. Okay. Another go-to deck is, put these away, I'll put these over here, is my Tabula Mundi. This deck is gorgeous. I love the card stock. Meleen is one of my favorite artists and deck creators. I do not own the Rosetta Tarot yet, but this is a favorite. It's Thoth inspired. It's just nothing I've ever seen before. Very beautifully illustrated, and it comes with a nice book. Well, no, you could buy the book, but the book is really good. It's a good way to step your toes into Thoth and the Thoth system. But if I want to switch up my Thoth and I don't want to use a Thoth deck, this is what I go to. I spent a lot of time with this deck, and you have to spend a lot of time with this deck. I still haven't mastered this deck yet. It's like really crazy, very detailed. Yeah, it's beautiful. I have a backup copy of this deck. That's how much I love it. And I just love the, the rawness of it and painted. She painted this deck or used the mixed mediums to create this deck, and also with the Rosetta Tarot. And I just think that's so cool, and how detailed she had made it, and it's just gorgeous. Definitely a favorite. And it always will be. And, okay, so Tarot de Rivasaltes. This is one of my favorite Marseilles. I have 2 Marseilles in this, my basket. This is one of them I like. I just love how big it is, and fine art feeling, and the vibrant colors. I love the face expressions. I don't know, everything about this deck is awesome. I love the feeling of this deck. It's just one of my favorite Marseilles, I guess. I don't know what else to say about it. It's large too, and I like larger cards. And there are the backs. Another Marseille that I have that's my favorite, this is like the one I go to the most, is Tarot de Marseille edition Millennium, and it's by Wilfred Houdouin, and I think this is in mass market now, produced. So that's pretty cool that mass market picked it up. I want to get the mass market version. I heard it's bigger, larger, and it'd be really cool to see it. I have it in my cart right now on Amazon. But this is my favorite Marseille of them all. I just love the clear images, and I think it's very well done. this is also a deck that you'd have to like pry out of my cold dead hands. It's definitely a top 5 for sure. Love that. My favorite card, the Chariot. Medicine Woman, I'm currently studying this deck. So I had 2 of these. I got one, I got these for super cheap actually. I found it on abesbooks.com. And so I have a friend that uses this deck, like this is his workhorse, this is his OG deck. And he has a deck that he's been using for 10 years. And so I got 2 of these because I got them for cheap. And I switched him. He actually traded me for this one. And I actually bought this deck from him. And it's the first edition. I don't know if this was an indie deck at first or what. But this is the first edition. And then this is the first edition mass market. Okay, yeah. So this is mass market. I am still studying this deck. I want to get the bigger book for it. But I thought that was very thoughtful of him to trade me because I wasn't expecting him to trade. I just was going to send him that deck because I know he loves Thoth too. But yeah, this one's like no coating. It's very natural, like a cream, as you could see. And then this is the max market, and then it's like the coloring. But yeah, super dope. I love it a lot. It gives me nostalgic feelings, and it feels like home to me. So the Gentle Tarot, that one just looks exactly like where I live or where I'm from, King Cove, Alaska. And so that one I have, but I don't use it. But it's definitely like, if you want to think of Alaska, look at that deck. She was very on point with the coloring and the feel of Alaska and the summertime. But yeah, this is just another deck that reminds me of it. I just like this style more, I guess, but nothing's wrong with the Gentle Tarot. I think it's gorgeous. I just love the eagles too. There's a lot of eagles in Alaska, and yeah, I'm just super stoked about this deck, and I'm gonna study this deck. It's my deck that I have around to study, and I keep it in my go-to basket. So it's gorgeous. I love that picture. I love the Empress right there. Oh, here you go. See? Pretty cool. I love seeing this in color because this is my first one, and so it's really cool to see it in color in person. Love that. But like, look at the lines and how like detailed, and it's just perfect. I don't know what else to say. I love the Fool. The Fool's one of my favorites. Okay, another go-to is Sibilla. This is the only Sibilla deck I own. I love the system of Sibilla. I find that it's very accurate. I just like the system. This is another deck that I am studying and trying to like memorize it with like, you know, the tarot system, so I could have more interpretations and just more wisdom about both of these systems and putting them together, and so I can make up my own. But yeah, I really love the Sibilla system. It's my favorite gypsy fortune-telling system. I would love to get like a Sibilla deck, but with more, because this has like 56 cards, I think. But it'd be awesome to like combine Kipper and like Lenormand and put it all together, and then, you know, take out the repetitive cards, of course, and then like just make a one bigger fortune-telling deck. So that's like a deck that I would wish that was existed, because I love more the better for me. But yeah, I do love Lenormand too, and I will show you my favorite Lenormand deck. And that is the Intuit Oracle. This is 133 cards. As you can see, it has the 36 Lenormand, and then there's like a bunch of expansion cards. And yes, I would love a deck like with the Sibilla system, and like that was like this. That'd be cool. But this deck is awesome. I love the keywords. I love how large it is. I love the lending card stock. This is a go-to deck for sure. I use it for clients. I use it for like clarity, and yeah, it's just a really good deck. I really love the artists. All of her decks are really good, and she's Kimberly Aria. You can find this on Etsy, but it's really good. She's beautiful. But there's a lot of nice photography pictures in here. She photoshopped these decks, and I believe it's public domain photos, and then she put the keywords on there, but I feel like the keywords are very on point, I guess. You don't really need to think too much using this deck, so I really love that, and I love that picture. It's one of my favorite cards. I do like her tarot deck too. She has really good keywords on the tarot deck that she has. Kim Krans. I love Kim Krans. I own all Kim Krans decks. These are the indie versions. I love them. Prefer them. But I own the mass market ones too. But that's just my preference. I love the feeling of these cards and like the way they sound. I don't know, it just feels good. It feels really good. So here's the backs, and then the backs for this one. Okay. So Kim Krans is one of my favorite deck creators too. I love the alchemy deck and her archetype deck. And I love these decks. They're just really cool. I think they're so beautiful, and they pair well with everything. Very on point. Kim Krans was the one that like told me, you know, to not be the Ten of Swords. Like, you know, are you addicted to drama? And I'm like, nope, I'm not addicted to drama. I'm not going to be a Ten of Swords anymore. But that's basically like when I first was like, I love Kim Krans because she taught me to not be the Ten of Swords, and I will not be in that victim state ever again. Well, of course, we're all humans. Of course, I get in the victim mentality sometimes, but, you know, it just brought a new perspective into my mind, and I was going through a breakup at that time, and I was like, you know what, it was a good push into, like, just have a new perspective on life, and, you know, just let it be, and release control, and I love that very much. So cool. I love her. Okay. So I'm not going to show you all the rest of my go-to decks. So I got my Thoth. This stays in my basket. And then I got my Kazanlar guidebook that I love. Really good stories. This is the 2021 edition book. Nice big guidebook, so I always keep that in my basket because I love the stories. And then I have this one. This is the German edition. Really beautiful. I love the images on here. I love that Three of Swords. That Empress. I love how light it is. And it's gorgeous. I'm so happy I got a copy. This deck I don't use as much, but I am going to keep it in my favorite baskets, in my go-to basket, because it's amazing. I mean, I would just prefer my larger decks. But yeah, it's still a favorite, and I'm glad I have it. I would never get rid of it. Because that is my guilty pleasure, is my Thoth collection. And then I got the Golden Rider. And then I have my Centennial Rider-Waite Smith. So yeah, this is my favorite version of the Rider-Waite Smith. I love the feeling of it, and just I like the laminated pictures, and mine's getting more yellow because I used it a lot and I saged it quite a bit. But this is my favorite Rider-Waite, and then this is my favorite Rider-Waite, you know. This was a unicorn deck. This is a deck that I've been wanting for a long time. So I love to use the Rider-Waite system for like client readings usually. Just because it's more easier, I guess. I don't know how I'm trying to say. I mean, I guess like a lot of, like I like Thoth for myself because it's more like, it's more spiritual work and like more like shadow work. It's like my multi-purpose deck. This one I feel like is a really good deck for, you know, using for clients, and I don't know, it's just the deck that I know really well too, and I still love it. I mean, I haven't talked about it until now, but I still do love the Rider-Waite Smith, just not as much as my Thoth. I appreciate the Rider-Waite Smith, and I love this deck. But yeah, that's my other go-to decks. And I can't say which one's better than the other. I mean, everybody has a different preference, but I mean, I don't know, I just fall in love with Thoth all the time, and you know, I don't regret learning Rider-Waite Smith first. I feel like that's a really good system to start out with. But yeah, okay. So then I got another Rider-Waite. I got another Thoth, another Thoth, another Thoth, and then I have my Kazanlar Tarot. This one I have like my trim version of this deck, and I have it in a bag, and then so I put one of my greenies in here. This is my 1983. It's one of my favorite ones. This one's more green, so I have two more 1983s, and they're a lot darker green, and this one's like a really green, like, you know, like my skull green. But it's so weird how they're both different, or they're, you know, different in coloring, and this is a 1983 too, so it's kind of cool to have two different decks that are different borders, if you know what I mean. I'm just kind of rambling. I really love this deck. It's so good. I love it. So my top 2 decks is my Thoth, for sure, and Kazanlar Tarot. These are my babies. And I am pretty happy with my deck collection. I have about 100 decks, and I am really happy with my basket of goodies here. That's like pretty much all I need, but I do have my secondary decks that I do love. But these are my basics. So, yeah, I put my little fortune cookies in there and I read them every time. So my manifestations will come true. I just love the feeling I get when I look at these decks too. Like I just get that warm, fuzzy dopamine feeling, and I just feel this love when I look at these decks and use them, and I just gasp every time I use them. And I feel very lucky and happy that I have decks that I just love to look at and to use. So I'm very appreciative of my go-to decks, I guess. And it took a while to find my niche and the decks that, that works for me and what not works for me. And so it feels good to be in the spot of feeling complete, and my love for tarot, and having a few decks that I just really, really love. Oopsies. I'm very inspired by this deck too. Oh yeah, I was going to tell you guys, so I'm going to make a deck. Right now I'm trying to figure out like what size I want to work with, so this is like my first draft. I'm going to try it out on a different like little panels, canvas panels, and I'm just trying things out to see if I want to do acrylic or if I want to do oil paintings. I have acrylics right now. I have so many ideas of like what kind of deck I want to make, and so maybe I'll do like one acrylic and then hopefully, but it's like people always say like stay quiet about your dreams, but like I want accountability. So maybe if I like show you guys what I've been up to, and it'll give me more inspiration and get me out of that self-doubt and just kind of have the accountability to finish, because I do love to finish what I started. I like to, own up to what I say. So, I kind of don't like being a hypocrite either. But, we're all human anyways, right? But yes, I just want to be a decorator. I am very inspired by Kazanlar Tarot. I learned a lot about what he's done with his art, and he did like wood paintings. And I love the borders he has right here, and like how he has like the Tree of Life name, and then he has like these symbols. Like I'm very inspired by that, and inspired by Thoth. I don't know if I want to do like a colorful pip deck, or if I want to do like an illustrated deck, but we'll see. So I'm really excited. I want to get this going. This retrograde and this eclipse has been making me really pushing me to do it now, because I'm just like, I'm ready. But yeah, so I'm just testing out right now. I kind of gave up on this because I'm like, it's too small. I want something bigger. So I got these panels behind me that I'm going to try out first to see what size I like. And then anyway, so Kazanlar, he did these on wood panels, and it was like, what was the size? It was like 19 inches by 27 inches or something. I don't remember, but it was around that area, and I got 19, 20 panels behind me, or what are they? I don't remember. Anyways, it's small. It's like, it's a decent size. I know it's 19 inch by 27, so it's pretty close to like what Kazanlar did with his, And so I'm like, well, if he could do all this artwork on that size, maybe I could try that size out too. But yeah, and here's my favorite skull. He's so cute. Okay, thank you, bye.